Hello, my name is Patrice McLeod, and this is my art nursing philosophy video. I wanted to begin by obviously showing you what's on the screen, which is my project, Just Keep Swimming. And I'm sitting next to the original version of that painting. This time, instead of changing the painting that I've already done with my son, I decided to do a 3D art, um, which is on the screen as a representation of that, incorporating my nurses philosophy on that screen instead of changing the portrait. So I'll get started. Once again, my name is Patrice McLeod, and my nursing philosophy is anchored in the principles of compassion and resilience. As you can see in what appears to be those bubbles on the screen of Just Keep Swimming, the portrait. The concept of compassion and resilience is likened to waves in the sea. They ebb and flow harmoniously from patient to nurse. And that, for me, is the basis of my foundation for my nursing philosophy. So my picture is of a clownfish named Nemo, obviously. And this came about because my eldest son, who is now 8 years old, when he was 2.5, he was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And during his 3.5 year treatment process, we would go to the hospital very often, and every time we would watch this movie over and over. And for me, that is the birthplace of where my compassion and what actually drew me to the field of nursing, where it all began. Those moments that we were in the hospital. I can remember the nurses and all of the staff showing great compassion towards me, my son, my family. And for me, that is why I became a nurse. And the reciprocity in all of this is that now that compassion that was shown to me from them is the same compassion that I now give to my patients and their families during their times of illness when they're in the hospital, and I am the nurse that is taking care of them. So, to give you a backdrop of the movie tells a story of Nemo, which is the clownfish that's on the picture, and he was lost at sea. And so the whole movie is about he and his father's resilience to reconnect and find each other so that they can go back home. So for me, when I think about nursing and I think about patients, I think about patients being, in that same type of situation. When you're sick, it's almost as if you are away from home, or you're lost, or you're out of equilibrium in more medical terms. So your journey back to health and wellness is similar to the journey that he took actually to find his father so that he could go home. So that's why I wanted to choose this photo, because this all is a representation. It's very close to home for me. It is my reason that I'm a nurse, and it's the basis for my philosophy. So that's how this picture in my idea represents the meta paradigm of nursing. If you look at the picture, you can see up under the fish, I have a red cross that has nursing listed there. So for me, to get into more of the meta paradigms, next I'll get into the person that is representative of Nemo. And as I stated before, um, we're often lost when we are sick and things happen to us in the hospital. And you need that guidance. You need someone like Marlon looking for you. You need that nurse to be there in search of you to help you get back to that place that is of optimal health for you. So for me, like I said, this fish kind of represents the patient as it relates to the ideology of my philosophy and the meta paradigms. Next, I'd like to talk about the meta paradigm health and how this reminds me so much about the path to health and recovery. So for me, um, I do believe that health is a journey. just like his journey was. So there are ebbs and flows. You have good days, you have bad days, and that's all representative in this tale as well as in our lives. Those of us who are, for the most part, healthy for the most for most of our days, or those people who are often in the hospital that are sick, it's still a journey. And the phrase "just keep swimming," which is why I named this after that, um, is what I would encourage patients to just keep swimming. You have to keep going. I mean, life throws curveballs at us all the time, and there are many things that happen to us on this journey of health, but we have to keep going and pushing forward and just keep swimming, as that saying is, to get to that place where wherever optimal is for us. For many people, optimal is not back to the state they were before they were sick, but it could be a better place or it could be a place of comfort. So that is our goal. As far as your health journey is, just keep swimming. Next, I'd like to talk about the environment. So for the environment, if you notice, fish live in a body of water. And in that body of water, they're in the element, they're in that fluidity of the water. And water has no shape. It takes up the shape of whatever container it's in. And so for me, that's representative because we have to be adaptable to change and we have to be able to kind of go with the flow. Not to say that just take whatever is given, but in reference to your health, there are things that you cannot control. So you have to be able to have that adaptability to mold and shape based off whatever curves life throws you in reference to sickness and health. So that is how his environment kind of helps us to shows us how to be more adaptable in that reference. Additionally, if you look at the picture, you'll see, like I said, there are two bubbles. That's one says resilience, one says compassion. To me, those are my two principles that I believe are my nursing philosophy. And you'll see another bubble behind him. It's a yellow ribbon, which is representative of childhood cancer. And for me, that's how this whole journey began. And that's like a starting place, which is why I have it kind of towards the back of it, kind of like towards the back. But that was a starting place for me. And then he's kind of looking up, which is representative of looking towards the future and moving forward. And in my journey in nursing, I'm sure I can add more bubbles that are more principles that would shape my nursing philosophy. And I know that I'll continue to paint this picture as that journey proceeds. So, thank you so much for listening to my nursing philosophy. Just keep swimming about my clownfish Nemo and how my journey to nursing has began and how it's continuing. Thank you so much, and this is Patrice McLeod.